What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Hope everybody's doing well. Today's episode is going to be brought to you by Mystery Ranch, built for the mission. And if you haven't been rocking a Mystery Ranch Fireline pack, well, that sucks to be you, dog. Because your back probably hurts, and it's got to be uncomfortable. But they make arguably the most comfortable, the most well-built, and have the bitchinest warranty in the Wildland fire game. So go over to www.mysteryranch.com and check out their Fireline packs if you want to upgrade. But also while you're at it, I want you guys to go over there and check out both the 3-way expandable briefcase and the Urban Assault 21 packs, both in Wildfire Black. The reason why? Well, a portion of the proceeds from those pack sales, both the 3-way briefcase and the Urban Assault 21 pack, it's going to go back to those folks in the field that are telling the story of Wildland Fire. How they do that, you say? Well, go and check out the Backbone series. What it is a storytelling platform and giving the real story on the line. It's kind of an educational campaign, if you will, to educate the public and tell the story of Wildland Fire here in the United States. Yeah, there's $1,000 scholarship up for grabs via the Mystery Ranch Backbone series. So if you want your opportunity to win, well, go over to www.mysteryranch.com and check out the Backbone series. Tell your story, don't write it in crayon, make it good, and you have an opportunity to win one of these $1,000 scholarships. So once again, go over to www.mysteryranch.com and check it out. The Anchor Point Podcast is also going to be brought to you by our premier coffee sponsor, and that's going to be none other than Hot Shot Brewery. It's kick-ass coffee for a kick-ass cause, where a portion of the proceeds will always go back to the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. And if you happen to want to get your hands on some other merch, well, they have a plethora of all of the stuff to help rep that Wildland Firefighter lifestyle, like a full line of apparel and all of the tools of the trade to get your morning started off right. And check this out. If you go over to www.hotshotbrewing.com, you can check out a little bit of my merch as well. So if you're looking for one of those Fire Fiend t-shirts or one of those Band of Brothers t-shirts, well, you can get it all over there at www.hotshotbrewing.com. Go check it out. The Anchor Point Podcast is also going to be brought to you by our buddy Booze over at the A.S.S movement. Yeah, and if you don't know what the A.S.S movement is, well, it stands for the anti-surface shitting movement, and it is the finest, the end-all be-all in poo-burying propaganda. I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate going fly fishing or camping or hunting or any of this outdoor activities on our public lands, and inevitably seeing a gift-wrapped human turd sitting there on the ground. Yeah, it's disgusting, and that shit needs to stop. Good thing for you all today. Well, the Booze Man, Mr. A.S.S Movement himself, is live and in studio today. So we're going to get a little bit of inside knowledge about his business and why you shouldn't do your business without doing it properly. So if you want the finest in poo-bearing propaganda and want to spread the word about burying your turds, go over to www.thefirewild.com and check out the A.S.S Movement. Yeah, it's awesome. So go over there. Check it out. Awesome. Get a turd trowel. Get a poster. Get whatever. Make people stop pooping on awesome public lands. Anyways, go over to www.thefirewild.com and check out the A.S.S Movement. The Anchor Point Podcast is also going to be brought to you by the Smoky Generation, also known as the American Wildfire Experience, which is not just sequestered to America anymore. It's actually telling the story of Wildland Fire across the globe, which is freaking awesome. So if you haven't checked that out, I highly suggest you do, and go over to www.wildfireexperience.org. Yeah, they got stories about wildland firefighting dating all the way back to the 1940s. So yeah, it's kind of a good little history lesson. Anyways, also, they give back to the community in a huge way as well. They do the Smoky Generation Grant Program. So if you happen to be telling the story of Wildland Fire, whether you're a writer, blogger, photographer, cinematographer, anybody who's telling the story of Wildland Fire, go over to www.wildfireexperience.org and check it out. Submit your story. You might have one of these $500 grants up for grabs. So, Bethany, you have a kick-ass organization over there. Keep it up. The views and opinions of this podcast do not reflect the views and opinions of the United States government, the Department of the Interior, the Department of Defense, the Department of Agriculture, the United States Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, National Park Service, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, or any private, municipal, county, or state firefighting organization, any law enforcement agency, any medical provider, or any contractor employed by any federal agency. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So we are going to pick up where we left off on today's episode with Mr. Micah Booze, the booze man himself, Mr. Ass Movement himself. And we're going to continue our conversation on the part 1 episode. And we're going to switch gears. We're going to go into a little bit more of the work-life balance and how we should probably be respectful of each other out there in the field. We're also going to explore some topics of the things that we experience in the field and what we can do about fixing them and how we ultimately have the power as the boots on the ground. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well and hope everybody's gearing up for the season. And I hope that you liked the first part 1 of Micah Booze's 2-part episode, I guess you could say. Anyways, without further ado, I'd like to once again introduce my good friend, Mr. Micah Booze. Welcome to the Anchor Point.
In my last young life, I was into art, and maybe that's where some of this stems from. But I'm not like a crazy good artist like Shu or Christian or Nicole Christian or my homeboy at
National Park Service.
Let's call him MPD. And
MPD?
Yep. And but I know it's like Forrest Gump. Like I may not be a smart man, but I do know what love is. I do know what art is, and I know how to do. So I made my 8-year-old's dude. I made his name's Zen. He's named after Howard Zinn. I don't know if I mentioned that on the last podcast. He's probably gonna be mad at me for mentioning his name, but it's Zinn, and he's named after Howard Zinn. And if you know who that is, he's wrote a People's History of the United States, and it's a history book about the people. It's a history book from the perspective of the oppressed, right? Not the victors. It's not the clean white man loving ourselves story. It's about Native Americans, female rights, workers' rights, black people, all the struggles of the American from 1492 to present, which was 2006, or I don't remember when the book came out. This guy changed my life and my perspective through my journey, and you and I talked about some of that. So I was like, man, I'm over the DC comics and Marvel comics, like superheroes, like telling these kids who it's like and I access comedy in my life all the time as like philosophy, and it is, if you take it right and chew it up good and digest it and understand what it means. And these guys are the last true truth tellers. We talked about that earlier, and I'm getting into Dave Chappelle, my man. But I drew up a bunch of historical characters for my son's wall for like posters. Like, I don't want him, like, he can be whoever he wants to be and needs to be and like what he wants to like stuff, but I want to kind of get him started like with some heavy stuff. And I put like sketched up these portraits of like Chief Joseph, Gandhi, Sitting Bull, my man Malcolm X, MLK, Medea Benjamin, who's like Miss Anti-War, like drone bombing, who's awesome.
Push button warfare.
Bingo, right? Like video game warfare. Man, who's the others? Anyway, doesn't matter. But all that to say, I'm into this stuff. These people inspire me, and there's that number 5 and Enneagram stuff of this higher consciousness wanna be stuff. And but Dave Chappelle, like, there's not a person of big stature that affects me more than that guy. And I chew his stuff up and I eat it every day. He's like my Bob Marley of comedy. And I study this guy, and this guy says profound stuff. And you're talking about putting yourself out there, and you're talking about believing in yourself and loving yourself. That dude walked away from he did 2 seasons and blew the hell up.
Oh yeah,
just by making people laugh
just
and bringing
Chappelle show, man.
Forgetting about their strife, their plight, their struggles, and he makes them, and he's pressing the issue, right? He's making you question your stuff, even if you get mad at him and don't agree with him. That's great. That's okay.
He's holding you accountable for your own bullshit,
sure, like,
in a humorous way.
Yep. And so one of the other intellects I look up to, his name's John Taylor Gatto. He changed the schooling game. And I don't want to get too far into him other than he said, this guy writes down I hate this word because I don't have beliefs, I have thoughts. And that's a Ralph Nader thing. I might have said that on the last podcast, so I'm not going to do it again. But John Taylor Gatto writes down he said he would like philosopher stuff, man, like ahead of his time and behind these philosophers that are great thinkers. And he said, I write down all my beliefs. And then instead of somebody else, debating me, I debate myself on paper. And I write down because in my life, man, I've changed so much over the years. And I know we all do. We all come around in some way, until you've had that sufferer, that struggle, or someone you love, or even just something changes in you. But this guy wrote down his beliefs and thoughts and argued them. Even if they came out
he's playing
and won the day to himself. And you talk about some growth, dude. But Dave Chappelle does that to you and for you in a way, but makes you laugh really hard. And while you're eating that unchewable food that you don't want to deal with.
It's the ugly truths of humanity.
It is
like to hide from, but he does it in a humorous
manner. And at the end of the day, he's loved, dude.
Yeah, right? Man. Think about it.
Yeah. And whether you disagree with him, that's great, man. Disagree with him. That's cool. That's what this world's all about, is finding you and what you think. But man, that guy makes me laugh, and he challenges stuff. And at the end of the day,
he goes against the grain, dude.
Yeah.
He does.
And that's the dude walked away from $30 million or whatever it was, $40 million. And this was part of one of the stand-ups, and the punchlines are good, but he's like, yo, I'm the guy that walked away from $30 million. And then I got, 4 or 5 Netflix specials. It made $60 million. So joke's on you, bitch. But he said they called him crazy. And he said I remember this interview was when he was dealing with all this stuff, and they called him a crackhead, and they called him all these things. And I like kind of being called crazy. I had I was telling you this last night in our stupor, and I was like, one of my old dudes called mentors. He met Murph, my main man, Murph, and shout out to the Machine too. You know who you are. The Machine's a pilot, but he's a machine. This guy sat down on a helicopter and started cutting trees and dropping me lunch from the helicopter and all kinds of cool stuff. This guy's a badass, and I want to prop him up too. He's got a base camp aviation. If you're into heli-skiing, him a call. But the dude talks to Murph, and this guy goes back to when I was from Oklahoma and just getting started in fire. And I've always been kind of pressing the issue crazy and class clowny and just having a good time and really want to make people laugh, and not to a flaw, but maybe it is, I don't know. But he said, he's like, oh, you know Booze? And Murph's like, yeah, with a big smile on his face, and which made me happy right away. And then the dude's like, yeah, Booze. He's kind of shake his head with a big smile on his face, this other guy. And he's like, yeah, he's Booze is crazy, isn't he? And my man, I said, please tell me you start cracking up. He said, oh yeah. I started laughing hard. I was like, he sure is. And but Dave Chappelle said, and this stuck with me too. It's and this is when you're doing stuff. And again, I want to be the guy that's dead and not appreciated necessarily in my lifetime, because I don't need the ego trip. But when I die, and this is stupid heavy stuff again, but when I die, that's what I said at dinner. When I die, I want everybody. I'm not self-serving, I promise, but I don't want I don't even know how to express this, but because I can say it to you and not sound cocky when it's you and me talking over dinner. But
yeah, when you put yourself out there, it's a little different.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody's gonna listen to this with no context, especially if you don't know me. But I just want to be remembered as this dude pressing issues and ideas, and not ideas trying to make money and hustle, but ideas to make you better and make me better. And I'm not always right, and you're not always right, and no one's ever always right.
But the answer always lies in between.
But the answer always lies in the questioning. Even if you are right, if you can't question, if you can't question what is supposed to be right, then probably not right. Right? Otherwise, it's going to hold up the question. And Dave Chappelle says one of the worst things you can do is dismiss somebody and call them crazy, because it is this. His quote is dismissive.
It's the easy out.
It's dismissive, right? And now this person's crazy. This person, and they said he was smoking crack, and really, this is one of the most intellectual, in my opinion. And Big Lebowski. This is just my opinion, man. But Dave Chappelle is one of the most intellectual geniuses of comedy ever, top tier, man. And you got guys in there some badasses up there, Pryor. You got my man George Carlin, who's number 2 on my list behind Chappelle. You got Bill Hicks, who was just the ride, man. That guy had it figured out, and that guy had some struggles, dude.
Oh yeah.
And then he died.
Addiction.
Yeah, and then he got over addiction.
Yeah,
And then he made
conquered
fun
it.
of himself about addiction. He's like, all this stuff, and it's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. And it's like, find what makes you happy, I guess, is what I'm getting at. But man, find somebody that makes you smarter and makes you happy about wanting to be smarter. And Dave Chappelle does that to me, dude. And he's pushing the limit. Like I always want to push the limits. I always want to blow someone's mind with like, yeah, but did you ever think about this?
Oh yeah. No.
I don't know.
And that's the thing though, is like, I think that like with all these, like we have a society that's like full of distractions, right? You can just escape to whatever little fantasy land that you want, whether it be video games, whether it be your cell phone, whether it be social media and whatever, right? We got Netflix, whatever, man. I think that there's something truly powerful about seeking it, like human existence enriching things, right? Being not necessarily intellectual per se, but just finding something that's going to make your life better, and then translating that to making the people around you better, or like giving them some insight they never thought about, right? That's powerful shit, man. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I agree, man. And the joke is on you, man. You can say no and get, man, I told you that story about a certain person in Nevada that I was watching her get roasted by a bunch of her peers. And then I waited for some silence, and I had a lot of respect and rapport in this place. So I didn't want to like just jump in and like squish it right away. I wanted to kind of deal with it too. But at the same time,
it made her digest it, right? Being tactical with that.
But it let all these people get it out. And then it hit harder when I came in and said, you know what, she's right. And I agree. And it was about something really frivolous in my man Chappelle's terms. I love that word, frivolous. It was something frivolous that doesn't matter to any of us in that moment. But I just sit there and watch her deal with it. And she's leaning back in her like desk chair in the office and
just totally on the ropes, backed into a corner.
And everybody's just throwing stones, Bible style. And I'm like, my girl, my man. And it made me proud of her. And she was young then. And now she's, you know, a little more mature, and I think even out of fire, so even way more mature. But man, I was so proud of her, and that's what I want to see. Is like, man, be yourself, and don't get into don't let people
the groupthink shit,
and guilt you into that, and make you think and make you be scared of being different. Like I embrace it, and like there's nothing more attractive than in a human. We were talking about that earlier too. In a human, when there's a little something different about them, man, and
it's that meta shit.
Whether that's the meta, man,
meta shit.
And I don't know, man. Maybe I'd strive too hard to be in that group, but I don't know. I'd like to roll around and bathe in it and fucking put it all over me and just soak it up. But I think it's attractive in a human, guy, gal, like friend, foe. So I mean, I can have my opinion changed on somebody that I've sized up wrong. And then they show me something like that. And I'm like, man, I like it. You know, like you change my size up about you, my initial impression. And it goes a long way. Even there was this gal in college, and she was such a good soul, man, like a very attractive soul. And she was just my friend, a completely platonic, but a good friend. And I'm just going to put it out there because it sounds so superficial, but she wore it with attraction, and she had like this nose, man. But she was beautiful with that nose, like a beautiful person. And I think the minute, again, you look in that mirror and see pride and power, and you realize like, I don't care. Like I love myself, man. And whatever you have, if it's a physical, in your mind, a stupid defect, it ain't, man. And that shit's attracted to somebody, and it should be attracted to you. You should be proud of it. I mean, you got crooked teeth, you got a big nose, you got like whatever, ugly ass hair like me. Embrace it and go with it. And then
whatever makes you unique,
it turns into beauty that way.
Yeah. Whatever makes you unique, man, own it.
Have you seen those? And this is kind of the same thing. Have you seen those studies? I don't know if it was. We probably need to wrap up soon.
No, we're good, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you made it this far, golly, get a life, I guess. But or maybe you like it. But the study, I don't know if it was a Japanese study at first, but this is like what I would call science. It's like I can replicate this stuff myself. I don't have to like listen to some stupid ass expert. Not to say that just because I can't replicate it doesn't mean it's science, but science is always changing. But this stuff, I feel like we talked about love so much, so this is like a good petri dish.
It's kind of like the overarching theme of this episode right here, man. Like love, just like sharing experience, man.
Yeah, it
sharing
is.
Love.
In this study, you take like you can do it in two different ways. Most people will be familiar with the plant study, where you have a control and you got a plant. But what I like is the rice. So this might be the Japanese twist or spin on it, but I think it was. You can take some white rice, put them in a jar, like a dentist jar, or cookie jar, or whatever. Hopefully you can see through it. A glass jar.
Mason jar, whatever.
Yeah, even a mason jar will work. And it's the study of intentions. And this is a huge deal in life. Like, do things with intentions. And a person very recently like reiterated this in my life, and it so helps. Like, do everything you do with intentions, even if it doesn't work out the way like you intended. You did it with intentions, and you put that out into the universe without getting woo guru. Intentions matter, man.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
100%,
so
dude.
whether it's love, hate, and a control. You got a jar with white rice that every day you come up to it, whether you hug it or not, but you look at it just like you would your dog. Like, there's good dogs and bad dogs. There's good pit bulls, there's bad pit bulls. But when you fill them with love, or you fill them with hate, and you use the boot on them, it's going to bleed out of them. It's like we were talking earlier, like trash in, trash out. You turn yourself into trash.
Oh, yeah,
trash.
dude.
And so anyway, you love. Hey, Mr. Rice, you look so beautiful today. I love you, Mr. Rice Jar. Hey, other rice jar.
Fuck you.
F you, dog. Like, you suck. I hate you. There's nothing uglier than you. And the other one you don't say shit to. And then like weeks go by. What's crazy, it sounds so weird and made up and like, yeah, right. And don't believe me, just try it if you need something to do for a minute. And hopefully one person tries it. I want to see him try it. But I'll buy in, so I don't even got. I don't have to prove it to me. But to get right down to the cut to the chase, this one's on mold. And so what happens is this love jar of rice. It's like the supersize me, like no mold in this thing. And if there is, it's like slightly, and it's manageable. I believe it was no mold in like 4 to 6 weeks or something stupid, or even a couple weeks or whatever it was, 4 to 6 weeks. It had to take time. And in the control, there was like the cotton white mold, but it wasn't like drastic.
Toxic.
No, it wasn't toxic. It was like definitely throwing it out. It had mold in there, and enough to throw it all out, and it's all bad. But the hate one was like, we had
toxic
cotton
sludge.
Oh, dude, we had cotton white mold in the control group, and in the hate one, it was like dark black,
like the shit that's like in between your walls and like a flooded fucking
Stranger
like
Things
like
upside down mold,
yeah.
dude. It was bad. And same thing with plants. Like the love plant grows really healthy and way better than the control group. You don't say anything to them, you water them all the same still, but the hate one won't even grow.
And that's the thing, man. It's like spreading that energy. That's like going back to that whole like the energy you put out into the world, right?
Yeah.
That's that same shit, man.
Yeah.
The universe is going to provide to it. And it's subtle ways too. It might not necessarily be like, oh yeah, like I'm going to get admiration and money and all this other shit, but like simple shit like that. Like the things that we take for granted, like this rice has lasted forever.
Mm-hmm.
No mold, you know? It's the little things, dude.
Yep. Find something that inspires you. I'm ready just to chill with you and get you off this mic. This is your job.
Oh, you're good, man. This is my jam here.
I know
this is my happy place.
I don't know if I got any more like leads myself, unless you got a question or two or somewhere you want to go. Like, I've been talking for 2 hours, man.
So let's talk about this, right? So like this whole love thing, right? We're talking about like, I guess, big picture, 30,000 view stuff, right? I think there's a lot of cynicism, and I think there's a lot of like almost negativity in our fire culture, right? And it's like true leaders, they're like the ones that are putting good stuff out into the universe. That this is definitely a thing, dude, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think it is, man? Do you think it's like the jaded? Like why is our culture so salty? Why are we like this? It's because I'm no better, dude. I get my salty shit, dude.
Yeah.
I get my salty shit. Man, you do too. I know you do. Everybody does.
I'd never do. Don't say that to me. No, man. First of all, I think
everybody's prone to it, right?
I think the simple answer is it's natural. The other answer is that quote I gave you today. We were in the pickup on the way to the river, to the Rio, to go fly fish, and it's this: everybody wants you to do good. Everybody is willing to root for you, but nobody wants you, like, not nobody. Let me, and this is the butcher of the quote, but everybody wants you to do good until you're doing better than them.
Very true.
And then there's this natural human nature, man. But
it's that
in
competition
fire
element, dude.
Yeah, it's in fire. It's I'll give you like a good analogy is you got a division and then you got a hot shot soup. And the hot shot, the division says, and division, I mean, this is a generalization, so please don't take this the wrong way. But the division wants something, and the hot shot soup says, "No, we're going to do this because that's what
hot shots do, right?
Yeah, we're going to do this. This is what I got." And I think that's a common feature for us is, and I do it too, man. But I'm a hustler, like out there. I want to solve this fire with my brain. I want to be a part of the program. I want to contribute. I want to like solve problems. And like again, if you're gonna try to cage me up, I'm gonna be trouble.
There's nothing more dangerous than a caged animal.
No, and I don't mean that bad or arrogant, but I need for my soul to get out there and scout. I need to go. And so I think a lot of people feel that way. There's a lot of alphas, and that's what this job is. And once you get to that middle management, if you haven't been checked yet, it's like that sophomore syndrome type of thing. If you haven't been checked yet, by the time you got some like middle management quals, some the single resource type of stuff, all the way up to the task force and division level. If you hadn't been checked yet and nobody's helped you, you're going to be tripping over your own feet. To say it nicely. I can think of other features you could trip over that I would say off the record.
I don't know how many times I've said it about today.
Yeah,
man. I know what you're saying though.
Yeah, and so I think it's prevalent. I think it's. I said it on the last show with you that sometimes it's necessary, like to present the ego shell and the armor, but you got to be able to take it off real quick and be okay with. Even if you think you're right, it's just shutting the hell up and like, okay, you bet, that's what I'm going to do for you. And then when you leave, like. Man, this is stupid or that sucks or whatever, but we're going to do it. And when I go back to my crew, when I go back to my task force that I'm leading or my heavy equipment that I'm bossing, and I hate that word, so I'm going to say leading again. But you can still put your flavor on it. You can still do that. And then still like, once you get that done, do what you had in mind too. And like, nobody has to tell you that. Now you get to present it back and have some extra frosting on that cake and not be a hero, but I think there's ways around it if you're willing to swallow your pride, and it's a prideful business. And again, not always bad, but sometimes, man. And then
it can be toxic. Sometimes.
It can be toxic. And I think, and on the love theme, man, again, human nature, but at the same time, it's awareness, it's self-awareness, it's empathy, it's sympathy, it's not just knowing, but understanding that you're not always right. You can't always be right.
No.
And who cares if you're always like, who cares if it's your idea? I'm trying to win, dog. I ain't trying to score 50 every night.
Well, that's the thing. That's like that old adage. It's like, once you think you know everything about some certain subject, that's probably the day you should quit.
Yeah.
That's 100% fire, dude.
But I also believe in you've been an assistant for 15 years, and every idea that you're presented to by your El Capitan,
is a good idea.
No, is like, I can do that better. And you just walk away, but it's time to move.
That's
time to move on.
It's time to go.
Yeah, and go be the leader and find your philosophy, find your struggle.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Go do it. You're gonna get some humble pie real quick.
Yeah, I got no problem taking orders on a fire, but I definitely have even more zero problems with saying, okay, I agree with that, but I also think like we got to do this now. But I've been wrong so many times that I can confidently know when I'm supposed to say that. I know when I can beat on the hood to a Nemo operations while my division is static. And I was on this fire in Wyoming, Colorado border, and had this division. You couldn't even get a hold of them on the radio. I was heavy equipment boss. I don't know if I've mentioned this. And again, this is not me behind the spit on the trumpet here, tooting my horn. But I remember this dude was just so like kind of apathetic, 0 Fs. Couldn't get a hold of him in the division, and by this time I'm already doing like some black ops as a heavy equipment boss for the Nemo operations.
Borderline going rogue stuff.
Oh, dude, total. And by the end of it, I was not divs qualled at all, and I'm the last one off the line taking accountability for everybody on the division while can't get a whole division.
So like mini division.
But I remember like this one time, I think it was Bud and Barb, this great old couple that made me biscuits and gave me hugs every morning.
Hell yeah.
And I got to help save their house. And I remember this talk very, very vividly because it was like a turning point in my mind as far as not my career, but like understanding what right is and what wrong is too, because I saw it and I saw the fear in this division's eyes. and I don't even remember his name, and it's not important. I wouldn't hold it against him today, but I damn sure watch out for myself this way. But I remember I said, hey, we got to burn out behind this house. I got dozer line pushed all the way. Like, you got a crew sitting here. Like, we got to burn this.
Yeah, we got to clean this up.
Well, it's going to come, and the division
slam,
and I'm in a, and I love this. This is a good meme. I'm just going to, when I say triangle, this joke comes into my head, but there was a good meme. It had Pythagoras, that art picture of Pythagoras holding the triangle. And it's like every triangle is a love triangle. If you love triangles, I love that. And so I'm just in this triangular conversation with division and whatever, Nemo Ops. And this Nemo Ops is very receptive to me. And he listened to me, and I think he really understood me as a person too. And we got the big map, the big divs map, big picture map out on the hood, and everybody's kind of away. So I felt very at ease to like say, like, permission to speak freely, sir, type of shit. And I'm like, yo, we got to burn this. Like, yesterday I said we need to burn this place and get some retardant line on this other side. And I'm not a retardant salesman, but sometimes it's good and necessary. So it's 51% good. And like, well, we'll think about it. And then they mucked it up, and it pissed me off, and like I was tired of waiting anymore. So the next couple days or whatever, this is when this conversation happens over the hood, and I'm like, hey man, we need to burn this out. I got the dozer line put in. There's a crew there. We got another crew that can hold. I got my dozer. I got 2 dozers. We'll have them staged up here, ready to go.
It makes sense.
And there's a house right there. This is like right literally in the backyard type of thing. And these people are up against public land, so it's kind of like the purpose of what we're doing. And Nemo Ops is very like Oracle, like, you know, good, thinking of the good and bad, trying to pro and con. And this division is not stupid. That's very mean. But this guy that was scared, man, I saw the fear in his eyes. And he said, yeah, but what if we get a wind shift?
That's part of playing the game.
And I said, what if we get a wind shift? And it's fire's coming at this house now, and we don't have a black line. And it was profound. Like, and Nemo was like, it was almost like Chappelle saying, my man. And he's like, burn it. And like, there's this divs that hadn't even been there this whole show. Yeah. And he shows up like Donnie, not listening to the dude's story and had no frame of reference, right? And
showing up to a movie and gassing halfway through that. Yeah.
You're like a child, Donnie. And so, and I'm not disrespecting that division. He's probably got a lot more experience than I do. But in that moment, like, I just happened to be right. And again, I've been wrong plenty times, but it may, when you've been wrong plenty times and willing to swallow it and learn from it, then you know what wrong looks like. And then you damn sure know what right looks like. And I just remember, like, man, it didn't swell my head, but it swelled my heart. And I was like, effing A, man, somebody listened, and it's the right move. We're doing it. And Bud and Barb are now special to me with the hugs and the biscuits every morning, and super grateful people that we were there. And I love that about this job, dude. That's that
bigger than yourself stuff.
Man.
I love it, dude.
I'm a nobody.
I miss it, dude. I know.
But you're doing your purpose, and you're doing the same thing. May not be Bud and Barb's home, but it's with everybody protecting Bud and Barb's home. So, yeah, man, it was profound. But I think until you're ready to be selfless, and again, it should all be down feathers and water rolling off your back, be the water drop, find the crack, find a way, all that stuff. It's gonna exist. It's the stupid term, human factors. It's the human
condition.
Yeah. It's the human condition, and it's going to be there. I mean, we're all, until we're replaced by the robots on the line, it's going to be there, but you got to navigate it, and you got to know how to steer it. And you got to, I don't want to say political, but you got to be tactful and steer that big oil line tanker that's hurting the earth, and make it do a 180. Just like to
don't make it park sideways in the Suez Canal. Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. That's what wrong
crazy.
Looks like.
Yeah, that's definitely what wrong looks like. So yeah, I mean, and I think too, when you project this L word, this big L word, and you're wrong, you're not going to get as much shit for it, and you're gonna get the chance to be right? Because like I'm not coming in hot.
You're not trying to reinvent the wheel over there.
Not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I'm not trying to tell you straight up. Like, I'm being objective and not subjective. Like, hey, this guy's wrong. That's not what I said. It's like, hey, we have to do this. And I even hit my fist on, like, for extra emphasis. Like, listen, whether you say I've been wrong before, but you don't even need to say I know I'm right, but But when you allow yourself to be that human in front of these people and you show them like, man, you're pure, you're on, I'm on the team. Like I'm trying to help us. And
you have convictions,
it's,
right?
it's like looking the coach in the eye, say, get me the ball. Like I'm not being cocky, but I'm feeling it, man. Like, trust me, I got this. And you can be allowed to be right when people trust you, and you don't get trusted by coming off as an asshole or always being right or always having the right idea. Like there's so many times I just want to sit back and let somebody else do it. And I just want to do the work. Like you come up with the idea. What's the plan,
There's
dude?
no greater place than
Firefighter
like
2, dog.
Last tool, no radio.
Yeah,
I love it. I miss it.
Yeah. But you know, I don't know how much more time we have, but I do want to touch on the.
We got all the time in the world, dude.
Nobody's going to listen to this. It's 220 hours right there. I'm looking at the damn.
You got like a 5-minute.
The diameter.
We took a little break there.
The ultimatum in the. But I wanted to say on some piggyback stuff from the last show I was on 2 years ago. With the light hand on the land stuff, I really want to reemphasize that stuff. This past year and year and a half, maybe 2 years, but definitely this last year, I really try to keep track. I hate the word zero carbon footprint bullshit.
It doesn't exist. I guarantee you, my factory, dude, I've killed more.
It doesn't.
I've sacrificed more land to save more. Granted.
Yeah. If it fires apart, I'm talking. We are sacrificing the land, I guess, in the bigger picture. I guess is where I'm going. But
it's like the calculated like casualties, right?
Yeah.
This is what it has to be.
The eggs and the omelets, right?
Unfortunately,
and
it sucks, but can't fight every fight direct.
But I'm proud of myself without it being a downfall, and this is not braggadocious, but it can be done. I'm tired of people saying shit can't be done. Like. Let's use that as fuel again.
Dude.
No, and so I had no AA battery. I broke up with AA batteries. And
how was that divorce? You get 2 Christmases or what?
I get like weekends every now and then, but I mean,
it was a custody battle over the double.
No, it's not. It's no custody battle. I broke up with her bad. But it's like less trash, all that stuff, and you can just talk to your unit, man, and present them. Like, even if you got to write like a little, there's all kinds of ways to do it. Just be tactful and creative and innovative when you're doing it, and do it the right way, and they'll trust you about it. But it costs less to buy a damn plug-in cigarette charger. Why do we even call them cigarette charging?
It's a phone
Isn't that
charger
funny
at this point?
Yeah, but like a 12 volt for the, let's just call it 12 volt. I think it's funny we call it. Well,
it's funny because when you buy a car now, you have to pay extra for the cigarette lighter.
I didn't even think you could still get the cigarette lighter.
You can't. You got to pay extra for it. You have to order it.
I think I don't smoke cigarettes, but I just think I kind of want to have a cigarette lighter anyway, just for like the nostalgia. Yeah. Never use it unless I'm like picking up a hitchhike. I don't know. Anyway, but it costs zero. It costs a lot less. And again, who cares about that? It's the government's. I say who cares? Like, but it's a good sell if you're trying to sell it. Like, it costs less than to buy all these bricks of batteries if you just buy that charger and buy a couple of. And I carry 2 or 3 recharge batteries in my Big Ernie Mystery Ranch pack.
Oh, what is this? Shameless self-promotion.
No, those packs are dope, man. Let me shut up about batteries after this, and I'll talk about that pack. And I'm not getting paid to talk about that pack, so don't come after me. But it costs less, and I carry these 3 recharges, and they last like 2 days. I mentioned all this on the other. It's like revisited crap.
That's the thing too. It's like right there. You mentioned something like important. Like the old days of like rechargeable batteries, they suck.
Oh man,
they suck. Dude, especially on those K&G brick radios, man. God damn, they sucked. But nowadays, like the battery technology's gotten better. Mm-hmm. You can recycle the sons of bitches now.
Yeah. But they go long, dog. They go long, and all that stuff, and the micro trash. I just want to keep talking about that. I mean, to the point where like you got your MRE and there's M&Ms in there. Like, I know people that, and I try to practice if I can remember before I rip the damn package open. Not that I'm eating a bunch of MREs or M&Ms. I try to stay away from definitely MREs, but whenever you rip the corner off of your stupid peanut M&Ms or whatever your little guilty pleasure is or treat, I know people that don't even rip that whole piece off.
I don't do that.
It's like
I leave it attached.
You leave it attached, and it's not blown in the wind.
Trash.
And that's whatever, man. But like, it's like we were at the river today, and I was just kind of disgusted, but at the same time, kind of.
There's like all the beer cans and like fishing line.
Yeah, I felt like I was in a mushroom trip or something, just staring at like 18 sandals that were in that washout berm. Like, where's all these people and what? Yeah, there's sandals.
Where did these sandals come from?
I couldn't believe it, man. I literally counted like 7 sandals, none of them matched, and one like New Balance dad tennis shoe.
With
no grass stains. No grass stains. They would have been washed away. Their sins had been washed. But yeah. So I guess moving to that Big Ernie pack, like what a job they've done, Mystery Ranch, being innovative and all that stuff throughout time. And Mayfield is all about quality, is all about listening to us, the boots, and like the folks wearing this stuff, let alone supporting us and all these other like sideways with a
lot of layers in that.
A lot of layers in that guy, man. And but this Big Ernie pack, again, unpaid, unsolicited. But that pack, I got a prototype of the first version, and it had some flaws, and talked to Mayfield about them and whatever. But it was designed off a smoke jumper pack, and man, I love the top load hot shot Mystery Ranch pack, but man, that thing is hot, and I know females that don't like wearing it because of the body, the female body.
It's a different shape.
Yep. And that's cool.
Dude.
That's cool, man. I respect 100%. That. Like I know a gal that we buy her a different kind of pack because it's not comfortable. And but
that's understandable though.
It is,
like
man.
your comfort is king out there. Like it's like good boots, right? Your feet are happy, your back's happy, your knees are happy.
It's not the enemy that's gonna crush the soldier. It's the rock in their boot. You got to be comfortable. And but these packs, like, I'm not into the Nargear packs, and I never have been. But what Mystery Ranch done is basically, for those that don't know this pack and don't have the stupid ass place that doesn't exist called Instagram to see the pack that I've had, it's tan, it's A. So like the helmet study that came out with the black versus the red and then the white, like from black to white hard hats is 10 degrees cooler, and that's sitting on top of my head. You know what I mean? And the same thing with the pack. Like I got this big, huge thing on my back that I'm carrying all day that weighs 40 pounds, and I'm stuffing full of other stuff. And I'm sure somebody's putting rocks in. And
actually lose a chain in there.
It's hot, dude. But at the same time, it's definitely necessary, and it's a great pack. It's like up until now, it's been the best pack. But now this Big Ernie pack, man, I can't tell you. It's like I felt like I went from black hard hat to a white hard hat. This thing, my back breathes. And the best thing, I mean, besides just being comfortable and cool in it, as far as climate cool, if you're on hell attack, all these straps unbuckle. There's no like undoing them.
Oh, so you can like hell attack wrap it.
And if you're like really stuffing smoke jumper style, you can take all those straps out and shove them in a zipper, and then come back out. And there's no like, how normal traditional straps, you gotta like weave them through the cinch thing, the cinch piece.
Yoke.
Yeah, the yoke cinch and all that stuff. You don't have to do that. It's just all like the big fat buckles. It's like the one that goes across your waist for the waistband.
The ones that are like heavy, like you can slam a door on them. And
the ones that go from the the yokeless yoke straps, like the ones that sit like where your dad bod love handles would be.
I'm working on
those.
I'm working on
those are the little buckles, but it's all bomb proof in my like so far, and I throw shit around hard on purpose. But yeah, you can do the full wrap on it like you would hell attack style. You can take them all off smoke jumper style, and even if you're on an engine, this is game changer too, because there's so many engine people out there too. And how many Type 6 engines are like, hey, you can't.
Space is a premium.
You can't It's like you're flying with Spirit Airlines or Frontier or some low class JetBlue shit, and you got to pay an extra $9,000 on top of your $125 ticket to go anywhere, and then you got this stupid $9,000 fee for like, oh, you brought a coffee mug, that'll be $9,000, and so like
you were breathing oxygen,
yeah,
that'll be $5.
There's not enough space for your oxygen, and so this the Type 6 engine life for those folks like. Man, I can make this thing tight and put it in a compartment, and you can fit like in a normal compartment on that bottom shelf on a newer Type 6. I bet you could, where you can fit 2 top loads or two any loads of any kind of pack in there, and and barely have any room to get it out. But with this pack, I bet you could fit 3 or 4 in there if you kept them tight, and you can tighten these things down and from Alaska down to the 48, I'm always packing 2 duffels. So like one's my PG gear, my 14-day Mystery Ranch pack. But the other one, I can like, I really don't even have to take my fire shot. Like normally I'd have to break down my top load like hella big time to break it all down and take the yoke plastic out of there, that adjuster. But some people like that, so you pick your pack up and put it on easy, so it's not flapping, or like
the fiberglass yoke.
Yep,
like,
yep.
Yeah.
So you're not having to, and take your fire shot. But this one's like you could put in there and still almost have half a PG bag. It's tight, man.
Shit, huh?
They're good packs, and the cool thing about Mystery Ranch is like, what I've learned is they listen. Don't come in hot again with negativity, but come in with constructive criticism. If that's your arena and allowed to be your arena, like that. I mean, Mayfield asked me straight up, and so I told him, and from the prototype to the big Ernie proper,
Like
the final
model.
cut, the final cut, which should be, what is it right now? February.
Should be out like soon. Like April,
So
right?
it's in March or April. Yeah. I would say safely April, but I was told March most likely, full production. So, yeah, man, they're dope. They're dope. I think they're game changers, and again, they're tight packs, and you still got your bladder space. You can still reach behind you and throw a water bottle in without like cramping on that 100-degree Great Basin water.
The trap cramp.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
That lat. It's the lat.
Lat cramp. Yeah.
Latissimus.
Yep.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm all about it, and I'll never go in any other pack, and unless Uncle Dana says no more Mystery Ranch, I guess, and then I'll just cuss him.
Yeah, I don't think Uncle Dana's going anywhere. You know what? Like it's like their new designer series.
Yeah,
that's cool.
No,
that's cool. Like who the hell does that? Man? It's like, hey, you design a pack.
Yeah.
Why? Because it fucking matters.
Yep.
That was like his whole thing.
It does matter, man.
It does. Yeah.
And when I toured that place and just hung out with Mayfield all day long, I felt like it felt to me, and this is how cool Mayfield is, but it felt to me like, so I show up and I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? You want to go float, Booze? I'm like, yeah, we can go float. We didn't even we didn't end up going to float. We just had a damn good time with each other, telling jokes and listening to old school rap and like trying to conquer the world. And
Wu-Tang action.
Oh, dude, Wu-Tang, baby.
All day.
And
Big L.
And he, so I sat and I felt, I had like the key to the city in that place, but I felt like I was waiting on my mom or dad to get off work, and I'm just chilling in there. And it was so neat, like to see how it all functioned and like the big machine inside the belly. It was cool. And I was just going to say, like, what a great place to work. There's a book called Let My People Go Surfing, which is about Doug Tompkins, North Face, and Von Chenard, Patagucci, when they started building rock climbing gear. And, they were innovative and did it all. But their model was like, you show up to work, bring your kids, whatever you got to do. Oh, like it's good swells today. Yeah, go ahead, Brandon. I'm going to work this 6 hours while you go catch some swell.
I'm going to go like PT.
I'm going
to go surf for PT.
Yeah, exactly. And come back and then it's my turn, or even just go like, and that's why the book's called Let My People Go Surfing. And this model, which is so broken in our country as far as the work model and this 8 hour, it's like Dave Chappelle says, you know why we have 8 hour work days? Because 9 hours might kill a bitch. And these dudes are like, yeah, do what makes you happy, and you're going to produce like some quality and game change, and you're not even going to want to
put your heart into it.
Yeah, and you're not going to call in sick just because you don't want to go. Like you're going to be, man, I'm kind of sore or whatever.
It's
like
that whole Warren Buffett kind of thing, man. It's like, why am I? Like the managers ask Warren Buffett, it's like, why am I training my like new hire how to do my job? What if you don't?
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
And I'm not big on Warren Buffett, but he's got some philosophy there that I'll subscribe to.
It's succession planning.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what we were talking about with the crew stuff and being a leader, not a boss. Like, don't be scared. Like, you should want these guys to do a better job than you, because at the end of the day, you're going to leave.
It's your job one day to build that foundation better than you had before.
And if you're really selfish like me, train these dudes to do your job so you can go do something fun. You're like single resources, you know what I mean? And so,
no, that's how every hotshot crew works, man. Like,
it should work. Yeah,
it should work. It does. Well, like the good hotshot crews, like, I mean, yeah, that's what they do. Yeah. Or like even Hell Attack or any crew, anybody.
Yeah,
really. You get a dialed ass engine module. It's like, hey, operator, you got this, right? Mm-hmm. Cool, you're captain. I'm gonna go run a dozer. I'm gonna do task force.
Yep.
Cool, I got you.
And at the end of the day, too, for tomorrow, like next season, I don't have to go uphill and find a whole bunch of new employees that I got to hire because you know why these dudes are these dudes and dudettes are happy.
They're empowered.
They're empowered and they like working for you and me type of mentality. Like I want them to be happy. I don't necessarily, I mean, I do want to be their friends and like be there for them and love them and fire family stuff. But you know, I want to be a leader, man. Like I want these people like, hey, I said, when we got to do this, we got to go.
Yeah.
And without yelling about it. And like, hey man, Booze has
that
us.
buy-in, dude.
Yeah. And like, it's like all these good leader, bad leader talks. Like again, you can learn from everybody. That's the experience, the human experience. But I want people to feel okay with following me into the woods and be okay with like questioning following me in the woods.
Why are we doing this?
But if you suck, like they're going to question every move you make and every breath you take.
Oh yeah.
But the same thing's true with, I don't get it, man. I don't get the mentality of not training these dudes and not like taking care of them for tomorrow because they are the tomorrow, all that stupid, like, talk. But, again, like you're going to get what you want to do because you train these, like you can, how many times you see like a crew waiting while their leader is talking to somebody?
They're all just kegged up.
Yeah. And this dude's like BSing with an old friend. And like, I'm all about that too, but like, you guys go ahead. I'll see you in a few hours. I got some hugs to give or something.
Put the cool stuff on the hot stuff.
Or I'm gonna go scout, like even to be more pertinent and objective and do something. But I'm gonna go scout and I might be gone for a good chunk of the day, like wrapping my mind around this. And hotshot soups do this all the time. Foremans, assistants, all that stuff. Like it's their job. And if you can't walk away from the crew and understand like they're gonna be okay and they're not gonna make a stupid decision or hurt somebody,
you did something wrong.
Yeah. And if they do make a mistake, they know how to fix it without even notifying me if it's something easy or like intangibly like doable. I don't get it, man. To me, that's bossing and not leading, you know, and it grinds me, man. It grinds me. But yeah, I don't know. It can improve, but I think it's going to take some listening and it's going to take some like positive attitudes instead of cynicism and just bringing complaints, and everybody's bitching because there's plenty of that.
That's the thing though. I was trying to say is like, that's an easy way out, right?
Yeah.
That's an easy way out.
Yeah.
It's easy to like sit there and bitch and not do anything about it.
Yeah.
But I think the overarching like message of this episode right here is like, hey, you know what? You have the power. You are empowered.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, man. You're on the train. Jump on that thing. It's moving slowly, but it's going to get a lot faster. It's going to be harder to jump on. However, you have an opportunity to do something great. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter about clout. It doesn't matter about experience. It matters about like using what you know for the greater good.
Yep. Yeah.
100%, dude.
Agreed. Yeah. Be the change, man. Like be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Yeah.
We got plenty of problems.
It's such a cop out to just sit there and bitch about things and complain. It's an easy way out. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. Like everybody's got their bitch buddy, right?
I do. I was just going to say like, I like airing it out for just a second. Like, let me air it out. Let me like, and then throw some Bob Marley on and start dancing. Like just get all that out of your system somehow. And then put on your positive pants and like pull them up and tighten them up and go to work.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's embracing the suck thing. Dude.
Yeah, right and there. Find your Buddha. And even if you're not that change, you are. It's like we were talking earlier over dinner, and it's not affecting. Like you can't wake up every morning and be like, man, I'm gonna like hopefully affect positively like 3,000 people. You know, it's like.
Why are you setting a fucking arbitrary goal over something like that? And that's the thing.
It's one person.
That's one person.
And then that one person affects two people and all that kind of crazy talk. But that's all you got to do. And I think the same thing's true with this. Like get all that negativity out somehow, but don't make it like aired out public. Seinfeld, Festivus, like air out your grievances. But again, have your bitching buddy. Have that somebody that you got that's a safe place where you
have
can
purpose behind.
Yeah,
it, right?
Or write it like it's just like that troll and stuff I was telling you about. This one that for the audience, like this. The dude needs a hug. That's just all I said. Somebody's like, man, you need to let this dude have it. I'm like, that ain't my style, but this dude needs a hug and I recognize it. And he's just trolling, like sharing old girl's GoFundMe because she's got a dream to do that research in South, and somebody said something kind of, I don't even want to repeat it because I don't want her to hear it. Like, I want to like guard that stuff.
Yo, dude, everybody's got haters.
I know
your haters should be empowering you.
It's like, you know put it in the fuel tank. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's arrogant to say, but goddamn, man, it's like, you know what? thank you, haters, because you're making me stronger.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, learn how to feed on it. Yeah,
prove you wrong.
Turn it into
everybody should have that mentality.
And I want to like shield that from other people, but this person, I mean, he wasn't like saying super hateful things, but he was just in his term, he was offended, man. Like that I even shared somebody that wasn't like laid up in a hospital bed from the job. Instead, I was sharing something like of this person trying to like produce some positivity, and you know, a GoFundMe thing. And so what I did, this is my move. This is what I do. And if this helps anybody else, this helps like text messages and all that stuff, or trolling. I typed up this message of like, not out of anger, but like out of intellectual frustration. And I, with the intentions of only typing it up. So my thumbs got all that stupid,
you gotta get that energy,
dark energy out. Yeah. And then I just exit. I don't even delete it, because I want to read it again in a few hours or whatever tomorrow when I cool off in my own spirit. And I leave it, but I make sure I definitely very careful in the moment with intentions, and I don't send it. And then I go back and delete it after I read it one more time. Just so I know that that's wrong. And for me, that's wrong for me. It's not, I mean, whatever, like everybody do them, but, and it helps me, man. And between that and like dancing and stuff, like, and I don't dance like a lame, but I'm not Michael Jackson either, but it's all about, I mean, that stuff's like medically proven to make you feel good. That's why my son, my youngest son, I throw on some Bob Marley, and this dude, other than like seeing me do it, but it's just so natural. I won't even have to dance anymore. For him, this dude's 14 or 15 months old. His name's whatever. My other son helped name him, which is really cool.
That's a cool story,
and he's got a really cool name.
He does.
But I don't want to sit here and blast my personal life. But he just starts dancing, and it's so like intuitive and so human of him as a 14 or 15 month baby that just started walking like
just jamming
3 months ago. I don't remember what, 2 months ago. And he just puts his butt and starts moving his butt. And then now he's doing this thing where he puts his hands out and hands up, and he can't help it. And to me, it's so like, it makes me so happy to see that. But I'm telling you, man, like find what makes you happy in that like quick second to get over it, and don't blast that like reciprocated negativity even. And I don't like, if you troll me or you send me a, you know, mean message or what do we call them? I said it earlier. What do we call those emails? Nasty grams, right? You can send me a nasty gram. I'm sorry, man. I don't got time. That's not I'm not trying to do that. I just don't reply. Sorry. And so like, kill him with kindness and silence is, it's like Mark, and I'm not calling this guy dumb or stupid at all. This person, this human, but Mark Twain's got a great quote, and it's don't argue with stupid people because they'll bring you down and beat you at their own game.
100%, dude.
And so I don't have time for that. And it goes back into all that stuff we've been talking about 9 hours ago. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm ready to have
2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 hours ago. We're good.
2.5. It's 2:50.
This ain't the long. I guess we got some light. We got some light inlay to that. So
yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know.
But yeah, man. I think that's the thing though. That's like overarching, like, be the positivity in the world. And that's the thing though. It doesn't matter who you are, how much experience you have, what your clout is. Like the clout chasing thing, that game is over, man. I mean, being a hotshot's cool and everything like that, but it ain't the be all end all. And there's going to be a lot of haters going to be remembering that sentence right there.
Yeah. And that's
being a smoke jumper is not the end all be all. That is not the pinnacle of your career. The pinnacle of your career is giving back and giving something greater to the greater good.
Leaving more than you took, making it better when you leave. I agree.
And maybe off that key to a fucking turnkey house, man.
And maybe it is.
Look at this remodel. Look at this. This is good. All right, it's yours now.
Yeah, but maybe it is the pinnacle for like their physical career. I can support, because one thing I really,
that trap
I know, buddy. I know,
identity, bro.
But again, when you know thyself, like that stuff is like get behind me. That stuff ain't gonna affect you. And if it does, like you got some work to do. It has nothing to do with your job.
No, it's like personal well-being.
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
And man, what I this is one thing I don't like. And living in Alaska, you hear this all the time, and it's like, man, and the same thing's true with jumping. The same thing's true with shotting. Is again compared to Alaska, it's like, oh, you're from Alaska, and I'm like, yeah, man. I'd love to be up there. I wish I could go, or I wish I could be there, or I want to go there. And my answer is always do it. And I stopped
What are
talking.
you waiting for?
And I've even said this about jumping, and I don't need to jump, man. Like, I know who I am. Like, would I want to do it? Like, to jump out of an airplane onto a fire? Hell yeah, dude. It sounds fun, but
That sounds metal, dude.
it doesn't sound. I mean, it doesn't make me who I am. It doesn't make me a better firefighter. This sounds fun. It's like, I mean, might as well just be skydiving. Like, it sounds fun. I'm scared of that shit, but it's the only way I'd ever jump out of a plane is if I would have my mind on like some work stuff, right? I hate heights, but if I worked for a telephone company and I had to climb this, or a communications company, I had to climb this tower, I'm working. I got an objective. I got to get up there. It's like fighting fire. Everybody's like, is that scary? And I'm like, man, I really don't think about it, man. I try to just mitigate some risk and like make it objective. Sometimes it is, but I don't think. And so maybe it is the end all be all, like who you are and who you make your existence about is jumping or is shotting. But damn, thanks for the good ones, because. And there's plenty of bad ones in engine life. There's plenty of bad ones on like normal
different flavor
fucking modules and
it's like
Type 2
31 flavors.
IQ.
It's like Baskin Robbins, dude.
31 flavor. But I don't know, man. I don't think this job makes you. I think you make the job. And I, again, giving back and making it better. It's like, leave it better than you found it. Whether you're talking about the ground you just dug up, or you're talking about the dude you just that you just like let in there, or you followed. I mean, and this goes to the temps listening to this stuff too, and the young people, man. I feed off of that. I feed off of them just as much as I feed off above me. It's a two-way. It's a two-lane highway, and
100%, dude.
And there's nothing. Again, like, I got a guy on my crew. He's a temp. He's trying to get the 5 lead spot, and this guy, these people in life that you were talking to me about, really pumping me up and saying very, very, very kind things to me. And I told you I have a hard time taking compliments to a certain degree.
I think that's everybody.
It is, but I get squirmy. Like, I got to go to the bathroom. Like, let me get out of this real quick. Like, I love hearing it and I hate hearing it. But I love this human dynamic thing that fire has, and you meet all these awesome people. But this dude, he's my friend and I lead him. Like, he's just a temp. He is a temp. Like, there we go. How empowering was that? I fixed it.
Reel it back.
Because I feed off of these dudes and chicks and dudettes. And he has one of these laughs. And again, I'm addicted to comedy. It's my philosophy. It's my stuff. And he has one of these laughs. He's like, I don't even say contagious, but he has one of these laughs that makes you want to laugh. It's like watching your friend who you go to the bar, and on first night of R&R, and you got this friend that is so comfortable in their own skin, and he or she starts dancing, and they might be dancing like Elaine Bennis, like I mentioned on Seinfeld, like ugly dancing. They don't care, but it inspires you to be like, man, they don't care. I don't care. Like, why do I care?
Why does it matter? Why does any of this shit
And the
matter?
same thing's true with laughing. It can be such medicine. And this dude laughs like a legit belly laugh. And he's got a very unique laugh, and it is not annoying at all. But it's like, I don't say, again, it's not contagious, but it's contagious, and it makes me laugh like wholeheartedly. It makes me happy. He's a temp, and all these attitudes and all these temps I learned from that come into the game, and like, man, I don't know how, like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I feel like the temps are way more important than me. It's like your kids. Every day you go to work to bring home the bread.
Yeah.
And I look at these temps, especially if I don't have to invest much in them, and I feel like, man, it's kind of all about me in my mind. Like, they're investing in me. They don't even know it. And I think when you look at these people like human beings that way, and just because my red scroll is bigger than their red card, like, who cares? This means I get to help make some decisions, but without these dudes, I can't go do that and make the decisions and do that respectfully. And so these guys and gals, like, man, I look up to them just as much as, I don't know, maybe hopefully they look up to me in some regard. And I don't know, man, it's like, again, going back to that basketball analogy, like, give me the ball, and not selfishly, but like, I know I can do this, coach. Give me the ball.
All those things, yeah.
And to have everybody else believe in you, man, it makes me believe in you. It's like, man, you told me you love me, man. I love you. Like, I don't say that to nobody. I was telling you that earlier about telling people you love them. And I tell my homies and homegirls.
I love saying that shit to people just to watch them squirm.
Oh, man. I do too,
it's so good.
Yeah. And I met Art last night, and I'm like, man, I love you, dude. Like, you're a good human. And
Art's a good dude, man.
And I just met him, but like, again, this job is cool like that. But yeah, I don't know. I love the temp game. And I really like try to protect and look out for them. And I think we as a whole, as a collective, should take that route rather than being, yeah, you guys, hey, I need the QB up here. You mind?
You're just a number.
Yeah, exactly.
You're easily replaceable. Well, congratulations. No, you're not. You ain't replaceable.
I agree, man. I disagree with that. You're replaceable stuff, because you're not, man. In my heart and mind, and
you're not.
No, and without you, the dynamic's different. And yeah, I don't know. I'll shut up about it. But
well, people come and go, and like this is a very transient thing, right? Mm-hmm. This whole fire game, like you either got to fuck up to move up, or you got to like move around to move up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real two ways around it. Mm-hmm. Like, unless you're like the golden child of the district, right? We've all seen that. We all know what we're talking about.
I wonder what that's like.
I wouldn't know.
I mean, I don't really want to know, but I kind of want to like read the book and understand like what that's like to. Your daddy is type 1 IC, and respectfully for those, I know a couple, and most of them are okay. But I'm just saying, like, I wonder what that's like. Like, my dad owns Johnson & Johnson, and now I'm the CEO, so everybody follow me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it's not an earned position power. No. Right? It's like a demanded, right?
No. Do you know the Pat Tillman story?
No.
Have you heard of Pat Tillman?
Enlighten me.
You'll know, I bet, and don't say you do if you don't, just to try to like make it okay. But Pat Tillman was an NFL player, and again, I don't like talking about war or any of that kind of crap. That's my contribution to this world. Is I'm on that train, but this guy, and I don't like the NFL or corporate sports. Just for the record, don't throw tomatoes at me. But he was a Cardinal strong safety dude, yoked. And my man had long hair. So my man.
You're vibing with him.
Oh, dude. And he dead. He gone. But he went. So after those numbers back in September, those years, again, I don't like invoking all these horrible thoughts about the world. And he left the football. He left the game.
And he enlisted.
And he didn't have to do it. And again, I'm not into like and man, I got a lot of military. Murphy, he gets it. He was in the military too. And
you're former military, man.
Yeah, whatever. But it's I did air guard, man. But I had to go through all that stupid training too, and respectfully stupid. I'm just anti-authoritarian, so it's not for me. But I mean, I respect humans, and I know the human condition, and I don't hate I don't dislike people for that stuff. And I'm definitely going to listen to somebody and respect them and their experience and stories, all this. I don't care if you're like retired military, man. Like, I don't like not make friends for anything. So with that said, but Pat Tillman leaves. I mean, this dude's Pro Bowler, millions.
Oh yeah. He's got a life.
Millions. And he goes to enlist. I think just enlisted. I can't remember if he did officer school, but basically he was doing Army Ranger. And this dude selflessly does all that. And so he's like probably 28 or 9. He's still in his football prime, maybe 27 or 8. And he's enlisted with all these 18, 19-year-olds. And there's somebody who had a camera in that boot camp or that special training for the Ranger school. And they're waiting on something. And they're in the little like green everything. All their privates are hanging out, little bitty shorts, right? And they're all like gunny sack packed up, and they're all like goofing and stupid, like young firefighter type of thing.
They're doing mop up shit.
No, they're just waiting in line to get ready to go, and they're all like pranking each other and like looking at the camera and like, you know, hey mom type of thing. And then the camera spans and it goes to Pat Tillman, and this is where I respect him. Like, he's removed from everybody and he's just walking back and forth, quiet and just like stoic. And even more so, this is where I really love this guy. Is there was this dude in that is Army platoon or is that Marines?
I don't know. I've never served.
I was Air Force. So I don't know. But there was this dude they all picked on. This is a Mormon dude out of Utah. Is where he's originally from, and so they're going through this training. Everybody picked on this dude, like mass hazing on this kid, and he was kind of like a nerdy, the weakest link in that deal. He was number 20 on the crew, or number 19, and number 20 was like, hurry up. And Pat Tillman saw this and like being the dude he is, and like, again, yoked up, and he's with these basically these kids.
This dude's like he's an apex predator. This dude's a stud.
Yeah, it was like, oh man, it just pumps me up and kind of like makes me think about him in a real cool way. He takes this dude under his arm and starts protecting him, and nobody f's with this kid anymore. Like, game's over, dog. This
stop fucking with this dude.
This dude's mine. He didn't even have to say anything. Just come with me. And so, anyway, fast forward, and they go deploy, all that stuff during all that craziness of resource war and killing of brown people. And he, so they're in this area. One of the vehicles breaks down, and so like they're all talking on the radio, yada yada yada. Who cares? As far as like the meat and potatoes of the story is, there's this firefight. Pop, 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 pop. And Pat Tillman has Weakling with him, the ugly duckling with him. And he's like, hey, just stay with me. Just stay with me. Don't even like poke your head up to shoot. Just stay with me. And it's like having the rookie and shit's getting hairy. And you know, like
shit can go sideways real quick here.
Yeah, it's 50-50, dog. But I ain't telling this kid that. But he's telling this kid, like, just stay with me. And so he's firing. And then he realizes it's his platoon shooting at him.
Oh shit. Blue on blue.
Yeah. And so friendly fire, bop, 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 bop. And he's like, this is so rad. It's like that shit that's going on now. And again, I don't want to talk about war because I'm not into it, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is in my mind for any of this stuff other than more love and putting that stupid flower in that stupid tank cannon. What's that? Tenement square. Yeah, square. Yeah. And Pat Tillman, once he realizes it's friendly fire, he stands up. Or he doesn't stand up. It's like, this guy like grew up cussing, and this is kind of neat in my mind. Like his parent, like he'd been cussing since he was probably like 3 or 4, and his parents are cool with it. And everybody knows that family is like this cussing family. It's just a part of their identity, and they don't give a shit. And I like that. Like, who cares, man? To be you and be hopeful people, and people still gonna love you.
Be real.
Yeah, be raw, be real. And anyway, short story long is he says, it's like it's me, like it's friendly fire. He's yelling, and he's like, it's like, I'm Pat. He keeps yelling, I'm Pat Tillman. I'm Pat Tillman, and yelling at him. And then until they kill him to death. And basically he saved dude's life because there was a big investigation, all got covered up. They gave him this. So he also had in his, like, right up in his claws, which I think is like super, badass. It's like that old, we're getting past it now with what we're doing in the inches game with the grassroots. But like, I've met so many crusties, like, don't call me a firefighter when I'm dead, call me a forestry technician.
Yep.
Okay. And so that's what he had in his like claws of death. Like, when you sign in the military, you got to come up with all this stuff. Like, what religion are you? Who, like, how do you want all this stuff? How do you want to be blah, blah, blah at your funeral? And, he said, I don't want a military funeral. Let's get my body back to my family. And this dude was like super family oriented. His brother showed up to his funeral in a white t-shirt and jeans and a pint of beer, and gets up and in front of like, what's the dude from Arizona? McCain.
John McCain.
Yep. Senator McCain, all these like big wigs there, superheroes welcoming. And it was not in it. Like, he said, I do not want that. Don't make me a martyr. Don't make me like, like whatever, all that stuff, like super selfless. And his brother gets up there and it's like just broken. Him and his brother were tight, and he gets up there and he's like, first of all, I want to say my brother was a fucking champ. And he's like trying not to cry, and he's drinking a beer. And he's like, this one's for you, Pat. Big, huge drink of this beer. And he said, and this is all bullshit. And he goes into like Pat, because Pat, the whole family's like atheists, and I'm not trying to get into that stuff, but I thought it was very cool to the sense like, I don't know, man. It to me, it's even kind of like cool to talk about it, and kind of takes my words away. But his brother gets up there, and it's like your best bud. Like, if you picture yourself dying, and your best bud gets up there and like says all this real raw shit about you, and everybody's like, damn. And he said,
everybody's kind of like taken back by it.
Yeah. And he said, this is all bullshit. My brother didn't want this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then all this, like, whatever, his parents get to all this like FOIA request stuff all blacked out. And they figured out like it was hidden. Like they covered it up.
Yeah.
So they could make him a hero for the propaganda machine. And it was all friendly fire. And this kid, he saves his life, like just broken in tears on the documentary. I think it's called the Pat Tillman story. And Krakauer wrote a book about it. I can't remember.
John Krakauer.
Yeah. He wrote a book about it. But man, what a story. And it's like, these are type of people that I respect, whether it's Malcolm X, like fighting, for the right, for the people, or Bob Marley singing for the, and like, I don't care if you don't like reggae, it gets annoying to a lot of people, but do what makes you, but fighting for the right, like singing for the rights of people, dancing for the right of people. And like what the grassroots, that's what it's all about. It's like, again, you're making tomorrow better. And if you can't do that, then again, get behind me.
Well, it ain't even about that. It isn't about getting behind me. Yeah, we're
not like follow me, but like get out of my way.
Yeah, the get out of my way element is there, but you know what, man? This is the thing. It's like, this is you, like grassroots. This is you. This is me. This is everybody out there. Anybody could have done this. However, it took us, like everybody you read off on your list right there, dude. Like how interconnected those people are with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
There's no special secret sauce. There's no secret ingredient. Anybody is empowered to do something like this. If you got an amazing idea, just do it.
Yeah,
do it.
Agreed. But be empowered by other people's story too, and other people's struggle, man.
And that's another important point, dude, man. Like we were talking about earlier off record, man. It's like, hey, you need to be like cognizant of who you are and how you carry yourself and what you say.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be like emotionally intelligent to a degree. And that's like that whole diatribe that we went down with like the emotional intelligence and self-awareness and like understanding people and the human condition and the nature of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be wary about that stuff because we always preach leadership this, leadership that. Yeah. Honestly, man, you need to be really cognizant of who you're around and what you say and how you carry yourself, because you will never, ever understand the gravity of who you will influence positively or negatively.
Mm-hmm. Only takes one person, man.
Only takes one person.
And that one person does one person. The next person accidentally did two people, and that person accidentally did four people. Agreed. And it's like it's talking about too. Growth. Yeah, it is. It is exponential. It's like not square rooted, but what's I don't know. Whatever. You're right. Exponential. But it takes so long to build a good reputation,
and it takes an instant
so
to destroy
little
it.
To f it up. But whether you're have not made it but built your empire on, it's like back to that stuff. I was like, what are you doing about it? I'm talking about it. Like, what are you doing about it? I'm talking. Not everybody's has the mic in front of him sitting here talking for 19 zillion hours, and somehow if you're
like
listening
2.5 hours.
Yeah, well, either way, if you're still listening, I can't believe it. But get a damn life, man. Hopefully you're on the treadmill this long or something, but not like everybody has different talents. That's why I brought the Enneagram up. Like, know where you are, man. Like this artist stuff, all these artists that are breaking through to the other side in fire. I mean, we mentioned several of them. These stories of people, whether it's, I like calling him, and I don't know him, so this is no disrespect, but I have seen Michael Strahan in person, and he's a giant, so I like calling Ben Strahan behind his back. So no offense, dude, but whether
that's one of those like larger life people, though. But
yeah,
like he's self-aware.
No, man,
he knows who he influences. And
I like that word you used over dinner when you were saying stupid nice things to me, and you said that word meta, man. I like that.
Meta-human.
And it made me think of Ron Artest trying to change himself and try. I mean, if you've seen, Meta World Peace, but meta sounds so cool. But have you seen that documentary? It's on Netflix. It's Malice in the Palace with the Indiana Pacers. And like, who cares? Again, I'm not into corporate sports, but I used to be, and I do like playing sports. But just to trick me into PTing and running as hard as I freaking can. And but anyway, the way the story goes is there was some drama that unfolded between the Pacers and what was the other team? I can't even recall. But just know that the
Pacers and Knicks.
No,
wasn't the Knicks.
No, it really doesn't matter. Other than Ron Artest is one of these stories, dude. That talk about a guy who's had a rough life too, and how do you deal with that psychologically? And so naturally, you act out until you like control it and figure it out and conquer it. And so he was still in his acting out stage. And so
look at Dennis Rodman. That dude was a baller.
Yeah, and exactly. And so it's this case of where something happens, and I can't remember. So Ron Artest, his therapist told him that whenever he feels like he's gonna just start freaking out, man, he tells him just to like lay down and be inactive. Just live in the moment for a second, calm down. And like, there's a great quote on Karate Kid 2. And Daniel San, after Karate Kid 1, he's got that baller girlfriend. He comes back in Karate Kid 2 in the very opening scene. He's over at Miyagi's house, and he's like, man, I'm having a hard time. I just broke it, like kind of like picks up where the first one left off. And homegirl broke up with him. She's going to college. And he's like, I can't like get. And Mr. Miyagi's like, telling him like, well, we got to start at square one and the source of life. And he's like, well, what the hell does that mean? He's like, breathe. And so he just starts like showing him how to breathe and like, just breathe in, breathe out, dog. And so that's what Ron Artest, this basketball player, his therapist would tell him, just like focus on breathing and nothing else. And so there's this very famous picture or video of whatever, and Ron Artest just lays like, it's like, if you piss me off, I just lay down on this desk, put my hands behind my back and my knees up, and I'm just looking at the stars basically. And that's what Ron Artest is doing in this big gym stadium, and he's laying on the scores table. Everybody else is flipping out all around him.
He's just breathing.
He's just working on his breathing. And then something happens, and it's like the pit bull smelled blood, or the shark came because he smelled blood, and somebody does something, and Ron Artest gets up and like confronts it. And then somebody in the stands throws a beer at Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson goes up and in the stands and hits a fan. And then there's this dude, and they're like trying to keep Ron Artest out of trouble because they know he's like a nuclear warhead, and if somebody touches him, he's going to explode.
He's the storm. He is the storm.
And so they're holding him back and trying to walk into the locker room. He's been ejected and all this stuff. And this dude, like from the stands, like this stupid dude, like approaches him, and it's like holding a big steak in front of a pit bull again. Like they're gonna act on it, man. And so this dude kind of comes like cocking his shoulder with his fist,
looking like he's ready to fight.
And Ron Artest didn't think twice and just leveled this dude Mike Tyson style. And that's the story. Malice in the Palace, yada yada. But it's the only time like when there's been there's been plenty of fights in ball and in all capacities in any sport.
Was it not A-Rod? God, who was it? Who was the pitcher for the Texans? Like,
Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan.
And
that fight.
Robin Ventura.
Yeah, that fight.
I believe was
the fight on home plate. That was
Robin Ventura. Robin Ventura rushed the mound, and Nolan Ryan just put his glove down and was just waiting, and then boom, knocked him. And that's what Ron Artest did. But the only reason I bring him up is because then he changed his name. Like he tried to fix himself, and he's very open about it. And he says, it's like I can't change it. So to say I was wrong, like I'll admit I was wrong.
I did what I did,
but that is my experience, and it's who I am now, right? And so he lives with it, and he hates that he did it. But at the same time, this like beat yourself up over regret, man. You got to learn from this stuff, and it makes you who you are, man. It's like going through those valleys. And but when he changed his name to World Meta Peace, it's like everybody made fun of him, but he didn't care. He's working on him, man. Yeah. And I respect the hell out of that. And I'm not a huge Ron Artest fan, but I respect that for sure. And same thing with Mike Tyson, coming up from some trouble
now
stuff.
Now he's a pacifist.
Man, the dude's working on trying to be a philosopher and a farmer, I guess. But yeah,
lead farmer.
I'm a lead farmer. And so he's not the dude disguised as another dude playing another dude. Like he knows who he is, and
yeah, he's self-aware.
Yeah, and once you like get there, man, and it's a journey. I mean, I'm not there either. I'm not no expert. I'm not an expert at any of this stuff, and I don't think any of us are. And if we say you are, then
full of shit.
Buyer beware. Yeah,
you're full of shit.
And
to say it's the journey. You say you're a guru or an expert at anything, man.
Mm-hmm. No. And so like Ben Strahan, like I respect the skinny there. I respect the Kevin Conley story. I respect Mayfield's story and some of the stuff he was very open about on this podcast. And everybody who's like had this struggle, like you get it, man. And like it makes you human, and it makes you
real.
Yeah. And you're not going to meet more people that have overcome. You're not going to meet anybody that has more love to give. And again, no woo-woo shit, but like real talk, like raw stuff, like more compassionate people, more understanding people, more empathetic people, and more loving people that get it. You will not meet.
Well, it's that whole like warrior poet mentality, right?
Totally.
100%, dude. Warrior poets, man. We need. I think that's the thing, dude. Right? That list of people you read off, man. Those are like hitters in the community. However, they're mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
They are mavericks.
Yeah.
They are not loved. They are not hated. However, they got some enemies. They got some friends. They got some frenemies, man. They're mavericks. They don't give a shit. They're just trying to make it better. They're just trying to make
That's
this
what I'm
world
saying,
better,
like-
1 inch at a time, because those inches turn into feet, those feet turn into miles.
Mm-hmm. And when I say get behind me, I don't mean like follow me. I mean like get out of my way. I don't care.
Carve your own path.
I don't care if you don't
Carve
like
your
it,
own
but
path,
you're
dude.
you're holding me up from my growth, and I'm not gonna let somebody just. Again, it's good hearing no. It's not what, like, understand the context. I'm not saying like, hey, we can't burn this. If Nemo team dude ops said that to me, like, no, we can't burn it. I'm like,
Okay.
all right, man. I respectfully.
I digress.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I disagree, but I respectfully don't agree. It's like when dude Lebowski tells Walter, who's calmer than you are in that car scene after he just pulled his piece out in the lane, and he's telling him you can't mess with Smokey like that. And he's like, and Walter just keeps saying, am I wrong? And dude's like, you're not wrong, man. You're just an asshole, right? And to be able to say that, like, that's okay.
That is.
You know,
And that's that Maverick shit that I'm talking
it
about.
is, man.
That's that Maverick shit.
You got to quit thinking about what everybody else thinks, because if you do that at the end of the day, I told you this, like, I used to care about that stuff. I don't care anymore. And there's nothing more like self-conquering and world conquering than to be able to move even when you're walking through the mud, because people are trying to hold your feet and not let you, again, like, everybody wants you to do good until you start doing better than them, or they don't want you to do better than them, or they get jealous, or they get, I mean, the human condition exists. But when you get there, it's inspiring. And when you die, it's inspiring, that story you lived. And if, again, you can change one life, you can change 1 million lives, dude. And it's 3 to 5%. It's 3 to 5%. But you got to be able to you got to be able to,
you got to have the courage.
By the way, F the F word. This is, to me, the F word, this F and where you, like, huh and haw, like trying to produce a word, or your tick or your stutter. It's just better to, like, chill and pause, or even just have a stutter. Like, who cares? I'd rather hear you stutter and say and rather than effing all the time. And see, there's an but I got on one there. But I yeah, man. I think yeah, dude. I don't know. The get behind me attitude. You got to get over that stuff. And I don't care anymore, like, because I care too much. I don't care anymore because I care too much. And I want to see things improve. And I don't want any, like, the cupcake for me is like the 49% selfish stuff. Like, I'm going to get that. It's just like finding your gift and giving it away. And when you can find where you fit in, there's nothing like more gratifying and satisfying than that. You don't need to brag about it, because your work speaks, whether you're an artist, a poet, a firefighter, and all those things, or you're running some stupid message that's hilarious, maybe to 1 or 2 people, called an ass movement. That
I love that shit.
Man, Instagram won't even. Not that I want to throw Instagram. And speaking of meta,
not that meta.
Yeah,
the other meta.
Wrong meta, but
the company,
not the metaverse. But like, I don't want to throw them my money. But it's funny. Like, when I first did that, I tried to advertise on Instagram, like, you know, that stupid stuff that never works anyway, and they wouldn't let me do it.
Really?
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't know if it was the turd
people are like
or ass. You know, like, I don't know.
What is with that? Like, all right, like, I got no problem with OnlyFans. If you got it, rock it. And by all means, that's like human empowerment right there, right? We had this discussion, like,
What's that? OF?
OF, yeah. OnlyFans, man. If you got to rock it, I don't care. That's that. You got it. Do your thing. However, like, the rules are so skewed with, like, advertising, right? Like, I guarantee you, if we were to start advertising with grassroots, since we're somewhat political in nature, but we're apolitical at the same time, we don't care what flavor of,
right,
you know, left, right, center, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care, as long as you support the cause and understand the greater good here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get you back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, like, ass movement, grassroots, shit, even anchor point stuff, like, I'll have a hard time advertising. I'll have a hard time, because it's not like that's the thing though. It's like it's like so skewed though. Like, you can advertise an OnlyFans page, but you can't advertise the ass movement, which is like a funny thing, because it's like conservation at the end of the day, and like the true, like, context of the whole movement, right? It's bigger, right?
Yeah.
However, you can't advertise. You are barred from advertising.
Yeah, they won't let me, which I don't care. Again, I don't want to give my money, but I think it's a funny part of the story. Yeah, man. I don't know.
And 100% don't care about OnlyFans. You got to rock it. Full disclaimer.
I remember when Plenty of Fish came out, and I had no idea what that was. I remember somebody talking about, like,
I met my wife on Plenty of Fish.
I won't make fun of you on this public
Hey,
domain.
you heard the survey.
I know.
Hey, you met Abel.
I did. It was
my
cool.
wife's manager.
Yep. And I don't know anything about that stuff. Like, I remember hearing about Tinder, and it was like my coming to knowledge of, like, what's Tinder, and blah blah blah. Like, so like nobody's like just going up to talk to these people anymore. Like, you gotta. And I remember, like, when Facebook came out in college. This will date me a little bit, but it just came out. And to the point where, like, my university was a D2 school, so it wasn't available there yet. It's like all D1 still. And I had a buddy that went to OU, a real good friend of mine, and he's like, man, you got to check this Facebook thing out. I'm like, what the hell's Facebook? And he's like, oh, I don't even know if you can get it, man. You're at a D2 school. Like, what? Well, golly, that's kind of crazy.
And now it's like the global
and now,
powerhouse.
like, grandma and grandpa are the only ones on there. But anyway, yeah, and then, like, the Tinder, the OF, when all that stuff and I still have never even touched any of that stuff. I don't know what it's like. Again, old man trying to text. I don't know, and I don't care to know. I got too much, my hands full with the stupid place that doesn't exist called Instagram, and all that stuff. Like, man, I don't think we should probably wrap this up, dude. My back's getting sweaty.
It's warm in here.
I don't want to get a drink. It's because the door's shut and all these, like, expensive guitars and stuff on the wall. And I tried to make my bed that you can't see when with your AirPods in. You can't see it. But yeah, your horn to blow is without all that stuff already said. But I really appreciate you, Brandon. I think you're a baller and a shot caller. And again, it's hard to hear all the compliments. I have a hard time too, but you damn sure don't need to have your ass whelped up again about it like I did you last night. But
unfair.
It was not fair. It was motivating. It was, Mickey, you got to get back in the ring and go 15 rounds.
Fair enough.
And you do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this takes a lot of time. All I do is, like, fire photography, and the story is not me, it's you, the proverbial royal you. And you can go check my Instagram. This is like my not selfless disclaimer. Like, this is something I will brag about. Like,
you should be proud of it.
I bet there's only
you got some good photography, bro.
I'm just saying, like, I've only got maybe 10 or 15 where I'm even in the shot, and only like 5 or 10 of them, maybe 5 or 7 of them that you can actually, if you don't know me, or if you do know me, if you don't know me, you can tell it's me.
Yeah.
And then the couple that I do have are my stupid, like, wannabe commercial jokes to try to get a hair sponsor. So there's 2 of them, but I try to make the story projected out about everybody else. And to me, that's what's appealing. And I think that's what you do. And I don't want to compare it to Joe Rogan because there's lovers and haters there. But again, he's providing, like, I'm very choosy about that show in particular. And when he has intellects on, like my man Paul Stamets or Michael Pollan or
Lex Friedman.
Man, all these intellects, dude, and these people, and like Dave Chappelle, my man, Dave Chappelle, and he comes on there, and then the rest of it, I just don't even listen to it, man. I got so much going on, and I know you do too. And we talked about how busy this is, and like, I want folks to know, like, your struggle is, dude, time. It's like
my most valuable.
It's like Del the funky Homo sapien said, time is too expensive, and it is. It's taxing, and this, even what I was just saying, I wasn't trying to get into my tooting of the horn, but I was saying, like, I know how taxing Instagram is on me and my personal life and my family. You're running, and I'm running maybe two Insta pages, and then my little third one that when I get time, I post up stuff that's not fire, and it's just like just legit photography, and it's time, let alone hyping. Sometimes I am a Don King for the.
You got to advertise for the
yourself.
Unit. You got to put yourself out there.
No,
I'm sorry, you have to.
No, you do. But it's work.
It's work. It is work.
I'm just saying, like, how much time do we spend? And you know this, and so does Hot Shot Brewery, so does all these other people in the game.
National Park Service.
Yeah, but I spend so much time, like, hyping other stuff up, selflessly not advertising, but getting it out. And I don't post other people's stuff. It's all original content. So when I do share something else or hype something else, like, it means something to me. Otherwise, I'm not sharing it. Like, I've had plenty of people, like, you tag me unless it's something for the greater good. My stuff, and this is no offense to anybody, like, don't feel hurt if you tag me in something that has nothing to do with me. I just don't. I don't have time to do it. And I want my stuff to be standalone about you guys. But it takes so much time to share the hopeless and endless and exhausting and depressing GoFundMes. It takes so much time to hype something up, and I'm glad to do it for like somebody's hiring or somebody. Here's like a donation thing, like whether it's foundation or Ripping Lips or you name
Kevin
it. Conley, right?
It's hard, dude. It's a lot. There's so much,
and
there's so much in it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, dude. It's like you and I, like as a solo show. Same thing with Hot Shot Brew. He's a solo. Well, he's not a solo show, but he
started as a solo show.
He started as a solo show. There's so much out there, man, and we want to get to everybody because we want to amplify those voices, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do, but we cannot physically do it. There's not enough time, and I hate that. I hate it because I want to like throw everything out there.
Yeah.
I do, but I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do it, and it's hard. That's part of like the whole thing.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's another job. It really is, and
100%.
There's so much of it. Like, you know, there's certain things we get paid to do off the record that doesn't need to be talked about, and not out of shame or out of like illegality.
Yeah, but this shit needs to pay for itself, and it's like that whole like.
But you're putting your soul. You're putting your soul into this stuff, man, and it's like
it's work.
Your time is your energy, and your energy is like your currency, and to do a fundraiser, to pump up this thing that you believe in, this cause or this person, whatever it is, it takes time, man. And I don't know about you, but, and I bet you do. I know I was talking to MPD last night, National Park Service, and you said something to me, again, in kindness about like, man, you got a catalog, like you've always got photos still, like you're not waiting on next season. And it's true, but it's again, it's a lot of work and a lot of years of doing it. And, but man, when I type something up, like I don't want it to be wrong. I don't want it to sound stupid. I want to sound like me, and like it's thought out, and like it means something, like, you know, blasting love out of my chest again, Care Bear stare. And I want it to like be tactful and articulate and intellectual sounding from my ego, I guess. But man, like I'll post a photo or I'll post a story, and the text alone takes longer than me like making sure I got the photo in there right. Editing any of that. And I try not to put too much spin on my photos, but I mean, just articulating the message with my thumbs and my mind, like it's like how do you say profound shit in the most concise form? Yeah, there's so many times I'll write like a paragraph or 3-4 sentences or 2 sentences even, and I just sit there and stare at it, or like, what's my next word, or like, what is the proper thing to say in this photo, or what's the proper thing to say for this person that's trying to hype this up that I'm trying to help. And that takes so much time, even just to type something. Like, I mean, minimum, if I post a picture, it damn near takes 10-15 minutes each time. Easy. And if I'm corresponding with somebody or trying to make something happen or hyping it up and doing it all, I mean, we're talking, I mean, it's depressing, like being on my phone. I hate it. But again, it's the ball game, man. And here we are. So whatever.
It's that whole thing is like, at least you got original content. That's one thing I hate about my platform. Like, shameless admission of guilt here to everybody who's listening. It's like, that's one thing I hate about me, my platform, is like, I just repost shit. Dude, are we twinning?
Yeah, totally.
We were twinning on the shirts, Mystery Ranch style. Anyways, that's the thing, dude. Is like, but that's the whole thing. Is like how I started that out. Like, I got my own original content. Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah,
but that's a whole
photos.
I do.
You got better camera gear than I do, just so you know.
Man, that's a video camera, bro.
I don't care.
That ain't still photography.
I want to get a documentary camera. I want to make a documentary.
Yeah, I do too. But that's the thing, though. It's like the whole content thing is like, yeah, people hate, right?
Yeah,
they'll like shit on you because like, oh, you just repost shit. I'm like, yeah, because it's not about me and my shit. It's about you. That's the whole thing, dude. Mm-hmm. You got an eye for photography, man. You got talent.
I got an eye and I got shitty gear.
It doesn't matter. You can take a fucking amazing goddamn photo with a disposable 35. 100%.
I appreciate that, man. It's like that's my love language, I guess, for fire.
You got the fire.
I just, like I told you, man, it wasn't easy. Like in the early days, it's like being a journalist, and being a journalist is not cool and appreciated right when you get into it, and then all of a sudden, boom, everybody loves it. and not like just my stuff, but everybody's doing it. I remember being so self-conscious of taking photos, and I didn't know what I was taking photos for, dude.
Dude, that self-consciousness keeps shit real.
Oh, it did. It kept me safe. It did. And it kept me from doing something stupid or saying something stupid back in my young, inflated and bloated years of ego. But man, I just, it's like, you know, we were talking about stress level midnight with each other earlier in the pickup ride. And like, I want you to be a healthy person. I want me to be a healthy person mentally and physically and psychologically. And, you know, finding your Buddha is my term, like finding what makes you happy. Yeah. And even if you don't know, and like you really, there, you know, the uncomfortability of when you're going through something, not like something hard, but like this transition of phase and your mind's way ahead of your body. Like, I want this, this is what I want to do, I think, or this is what I like doing.
Outriding the horses.
How could I make money on this? How could I like pay for my gear? How could I pay for my idea?
How do I get that next level?
Yeah. And like, you've got all these ideas, but like you're just on the treadmill. But your mind is like, man, your mind's already catching first class flight to the other continent of where you're trying to get. And like, there's this rolling around and like,
the him hawing.
Yeah. This impatience of the soul is kind of, I guess, the way I describe it. And I just remember being there and like, you know, I'm taking all these photos and like somebody be like, man, why are you doing that? I'm like, I don't know.
Cause I want to.
I liked it. And, I just remember doing that early in my seasonal career, and you're not supposed to do that. You're on government time. I'm like, dude, these are for me. Like, chill out. Like, you telling me I can stand over there and do like you and smoke a cigarette and bullshit, but that's okay. But here I can't document stuff and have some good PR for the machine. No, man. And this is way before any of these platforms to even post it, let alone the idea to do it. And I don't know, man. It's definitely a way that I put my blood, sweat, and tears and heart and soul into this game of fire that I love so much. But again, that doesn't define me. My actions do. And I don't know, like I'm thankful I found a couple of avenues. Again, if they never made me money, just as good on me. Like, I mean, if you can find something where you
tells a story. Right?
Yeah.
It tells a real story.
I mean, fly fishing's a kind of a shitty example. It's a lot of fun and great, but it's like skiing or whatever. It costs a lot of money if you're trying to like level up. But if you can find a way to, and I remember, and I was making a joke, making fun of myself. I've got like my cameras, I bought it like in 2011. I had to buy a new body frame and shit, and a couple new lenses, but I still got the same model. And it doesn't take a lot of money, man. It just takes that inches.
Time.
Yeah, it takes time and inches, man. And
it takes passion, it takes heart.
Yeah, and if you're trying to be the best fly fish and you can't go out, like even when your mind's again way out ahead of it, and you like, and you want to be the best and like the coolest or whatever, just for you, not for anybody else.
You can have the world's whip ass gear.
You're not going to be there tomorrow.
Shitty
you're
fly fishing
there tomorrow. It takes a few tomorrows, and just be patient and enjoy the journey, enjoy the quest, bumpy roads. But man, if you got good shocks, you're going to make it. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I guess that could be translated to anything in fire, though. I mean, you got to pay your dues. You got to get your reps in. You got to experience this thing. Right? Yeah. And I guess that's where I'm going with this whole diatribe of like, what's this business? And like, this is the reality of Anchor Point. This is the reality of Booze and Fire. This is the reality of A.S.S Movement, Mystery Ranch, whatever. Yeah, it's work, but you know what? It's a passion. It's a passion project at the end of the day. And it should be like applied to anything in your life. Whatever you want to be good at, man, make it your passion. If you're passionate about something, I don't give a shit if it's about your OnlyFans or your woodworking or fucking
that OnlyFans in your brain over there.
Dude,
it's okay. It's okay.
I know.
I get it, man. I agree.
Make it a podcast, or building a website, whatever you're passionate about, just do it and do it well.
Agreed. And then find your love, man.
Take that knowledge that you learned and pass it on to somebody else.
I heard a good, and I don't remember the quote or the conversation, the dialogue about it, but it was a great, I think it was a college professor, and he was like trying to empower his students without being a normal professor. Again, it's like outside the box thinking and empower the people. And he told them, no matter what it is, do it. Just do it. And doesn't matter if there's no matter what, there's always, at the end of the day, at the end of the journey, there's always somebody who's going to be into it.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if it's art and all I can do is pencil draw, or if you're Shuey and you're like making these Picasso, Van Gogh arts of
goddamn paintings.
Yeah. Or you're Nicole Christian or MPD and you're like a master of design with not web design, but help me out. Graphic design. Thank you. If you're stupid ass booze and taking photos and you don't know what it all really means today, but tomorrow it's going to find you. And somebody's going to like that stuff. Or if you're Brandon, like, man, I don't want to, like, there's moving water under this bridge and I got to jump off this bridge and quit fire. And like, I got to start a podcast and like, what is everybody going to think? And like, once you get past all that, like you're floating, you're in, and like, you're moving downstream and ahead, but just find what makes you love you. And then somebody else is going to love it.
Find your passion, man.
Yeah, totally.
And just own it.
Mm-hmm.
Own it as a human.
Yeah, I'm ready to get off here, but
all right.
I've enjoyed this immensely. I guess closing words: love each other, hug each other, and move each other, inspire. And I don't know, man, you're gonna have struggles.
That ride,
yeah,
enjoy that human experience.
The Hunter S. Thompson quote: "Buy the ticket, take the ride." And then I meshed that over and overlay it with my man Bill Hicks. It's all just a ride. And it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go side to side. And you signed up for it. Like you're here, like you exist. And that's the human condition. That's nature. But be okay with it. And when you're in a bad place, when it's raining, there's sunshine tomorrow and you're going to get through it. You're going to bust through it. But you got to know you're going to, and you got to get up, you got to move those inches. And then the big stone wall is going to be out of your way eventually. And so, yeah, the people that I love know I love them. I try to tell them that, but if I don't, tell me you love me. And like, if you're some of my ride or dies, and I'm always going to say that stuff back, and don't be weirded out. I think all this world really needs is more love, and like people like showing it and telling each other and hugging. I saw some good, I don't know if it was an actual study, but it said a 7-second hug, it's like petting a dog, like as far as the biometrics or the biology of the human.
Like that oxytocin dump.
Yeah. 7-8 seconds of a hug. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I don't know. The ego doesn't matter. I'm done.
Copy that. Well, traditionally what we do on the end of the podcast is we usually go shout outs to homies, heroes, mentors, but you already covered that shit. Like,
I'm always doing it different. I reversed.
Boom. Reverse
tool order.
I like it, dude. Reverse tool order RTO on that bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
I don't know. I love my friends and so it's priority for me, and I love my family too. So shout out to them. But yeah, keep loving each other. And if you know the Booze Man, like some of these people I mentioned and some of the people I haven't mentioned, I appreciate you, period. And you too, Brandon. I'm done.
Hell yeah.
Mic drop, Dave Chappelle.
Well, for the rest of you guys that listen to this, well, take these concepts and like really wrap your head around them. Be like introspective about them. Think about them and like digest them. Take them, make them glorious. Do what you want to do. Make them your own. I don't care. Just do good and do good onto the world. Hope everybody's doing good. Peace.
Hey, and boom. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Anchor Point Podcast is in the books with my good buddy, Mr. Ass Man himself from the Ass Movement, Mr. Micah Booze. Booze, dude, I love when you come on the show, man. I just love you being here, dude. It was an experience. That was fun, man. Going out and fly fishing with Art, and yeah, it was rad. But yeah, man, I can't thank you enough for being on the show and sharing some of your insight and wisdom. I think more people need to hear stuff like this, you know, get a little bit of a different flavor, a little different perspective on what the game is like and what to expect over the years. So once again, man, I thank you so much for being on the show. We'll catch you up on the next one. As for the rest of you, hope you're all doing well. Hope you guys are getting your guys and girls are getting your fitness on, getting ready for the Wildland fire season 2022, which is, well, quite frankly, it's already started in some areas. I mean, look at Texas. Jesus, man. Wild. So, that being said, be good. Do your thing. Take some notes out of this episode, these previous 2 episodes, and see if you can get anything, little nuggets out of them to share with your friends out there, your fire family. Look at things in a different perspective. So, have a good one. Y'all know the drill. We got a special shout out to our sponsors, of course. We got Mystery Ranch, built for the mission. If you don't know what Mystery Ranch is, well, you're messing up. Your back probably hurts. They make arguably the most well-built, most comfortable, and the most badass fire line packs in the game, but they also contribute back to the boots on the ground with the Backbone series. Go to www.mysteryranch.com and check out the Backbone series, where you might be able to get your hands on one of these $1,000 scholarships. So go check them out. We've got Hotshot Brewery, purveyors of the finest damn coffee in the world. They're kick-ass coffee for a kick-ass cause, and a portion of the proceeds will always go back to the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. Go to www.hotshotbrewing.com and check it out. We've got, of course, the A.S.S movement, but I guess you could say this was a technically branded episode because it was him talking about fire and the A.S.S movement and all this other stuff. But if you want to find out more, go over to www.thefirewild.com, where you can check out the A.S.S movement. And last but not least, we have the Smoky Generation. Little trip down memory lane, some stories from your peers in the field and what they've experienced. It's awesome. It's also known as the American Wildfire Experience, but it's not relegated to the United States anymore. It is a global affair, and it is awesome. Bethany, you have a kick-ass organization over there. Keep it up. Y'all know the drill. Stay safe, stay savage. Peace.